In 2001, Sega finally surrendered and admit defeat in the console wars after the failure of the Dreamcast. Now Sega is a third-party company in the gaming world, while Nintendo, Sony, and even Microsoft run the show. Luckily, Sega can stay alive with many things like making games and publishing them. They also have a large branch of arcade games, and hell, they even got a good mascot too. But it was clear, they needed to do something if they want to stay relevant. Some games were decent, while some games just straight up fail. They needed to make something that would get them back to the mainstream. So one day, Sega, Dingo, and Krypton Fusion Media teamed up and made a new game. A game that would be called Hatsune Miku Project Diva. This game was a massive success in Japan, and Sega will continue to make a lot of Miku games. But over the years, the Project Diva franchise went silent, as if it died ages ago. So what happened? How did Sega have one of their long-lasting franchises went dead silent? Well, let's find out. Before we answer the main question of the video, we need to take a look back to the history of the Project Diva games. The first game in the series was the one that started it all. Hatsune Miku Project Diva was released in Japan in 2nd of July 2009 for the PSP and the PS3. As mentioned earlier, it was massive in Japan. It had 2 DLC sets released for it, and even an expansion pack called Project Diva Extended. It was clear for Sega that they found gold and success in Miku, and from that, they will continue to make more Miku stuff to the world. In 2010, Sega released Project Diva 2nd, and it was a successful comeback. The reviews were great, and people loved it. I personally loved the opening for this game. The animation is spot on, and the characters are really likable. I personally like all the Hatsune Miku parts. Every time I watch the opening, I kept on questioning, how come there is no Vocaloid anime? The animation proves that it's possible. Come on Sega, you're taking notes here? Getting back to the main topic, the game itself was an improvement over the previous one. For example, it had more modules, it had smoother animation, and the characters are more well defined. To keep up with the Project Diva trend, there were other games that would follow up with it, but they were mostly spin-offs. Those games included Project Diva Extended, Hatsune Miku and Future Stars Project Mirai, Miku Flick, and Miku Flick 2. Don't get me wrong, these games were great and all, but Sega asked themselves, why spend money on spin-offs when you can make another sequel? Miku returned in 2012 with Project Diva F, which was on the PS3 and the Vita, and this could be the most successful Miku game. The Vita version of the game sold 159,000 copies for the first week, and the PS3 version sold 1,010 copies for the first week. And somehow, the number is still growing. The review of this game also reflected the quality it has. It has 44 songs, and once again, the opening for this game was stellar. I believe one thing that can contribute to the success of the game was the people who worked on it. The producer of the game was Seiji Hayashi, who has worked on games since 1992. And the RD producer was Makoto Osaki, who has worked on a shit ton of games. One game he worked on was Kankolai Arcade. Interesting. The director of the team was Tetsuya Otsubo, who has pretty much stuck with Miku since then. This game also has many people working on it too, including Ryo Takano, Yukihito Yagi, and wait a minute. That name sounds familiar.
Okay, let's see here. Hitomi Tanaka. Go. Are you serious?
Anyway, getting back to the topic, we got a sequel to Project Mirai, titled Project Mirai 2. And an update patch to Project Diva Arcade, titled Project Diva Arcade Future Tone. After the intense success of Project Diva F, Sega quickly started on the sequel to the game, and oh boy did they deliver. Hatsune Miku Project Diva F2 was the successor to Project Diva F, and it was a massive hit. The game was launched on the PS Vita and the PS3 in 2014. It had 40 songs and the ratings could never be higher. This is actually the first Project Diva game that I ever played, and from what I experienced, I can definitely say it earned its place. Seeing how much money they earned and how successful they are, Sega was on a full swing. Miku was adopted as one of their official mascots, and they're making full use of it. It seemed nothing could go wrong. Until 2016. I consider Project Diva X to be the first failure in the franchise. While the ratings may seem decent, the fandom was anything but pleased. There has been a lot of negativity surrounding this game, and for good reasons. I bought the Vita version of this game, but I can't recall anything about it. The songs were forgettable, and the story was boring and unnecessary. But in its defense, the game is colorful, despite how dull the songs are. After the reputation Project Diva X had, Sega needs to find ways to recover, and this came in the form of Hatsune Miku Project Diva Future Tone. It was released to the world in 2017, and it felt like a return to form for Sega. It's pretty much a Miku game redefined, and people loved it. The gameplay was fun. It had 224 songs! Jesus Christ! It was awarded for Best Rhythm Music Game at Game Informer's 2017. And seeing that, I consider this game a win. When Sega finally got their act together with Future Tone, I thought it would last. I hope it will last. Sega sadly did not keep up. I thought Sega would show redemption with Future Tone Deluxe. Sadly, the community disagrees. Everyone has been going on how much it sucks and Sega was trying to make a quick buck out of it and such. After all, it was announced around the same time as Sonic Forces, and we all know how that ended. To be honest, I never really got the hate around the game. Sure, the graphics are not as good and they should have included more stuff, but at the very least, it's still a playable game. A guy named 39DMiku did a very good analysis regarding the situation around DX, so go check it out if you want to know more about it.
There's a lot of negativity regarding this release, especially in the Western fandom. People are saying that this is just an easy way of Sega to make more money out of the same game, and it's not worthy, especially of Miku's 10th anniversary that just happened a few months ago. Is it really that bad? Well, I will go over all the facts in this video.
After that, nothing. Sega went silent, Miku went silent, and all we got was DLCs for Future Tone. It was around this time where people were questioning whether the franchise was dead, and for good reasons. Was DX really so bad Sega dare not touch Miku again? There was even a rumor spreading around the internet that Sega killed the Project Diva division, and that scared me. I love Sega, I love Miku, and the idea that Sega gave up on her really stabbed a stick in my heart. I can't find any form of evidence or sources saying that Sega killed the Project Diva division, but still, I was really hoping that's not the case. Now this is where the video was supposed to end, where I was writing this back at June. It wasn't for one very important update. Great, this was all a waste of time. Turns out in 2020, a new Miku game will come out, titled Hatsune Miku Project Diva Mega 39. It is a new installment for the Nintendo Switch, and it will have 101 songs, including songs that never came out in any Miku game, including Alien Alien and 39 music. Sure, there are a few speculations here and there, but honestly, I don't care. I'm just happy that Sega actually gave us shit for Miku. The community rejoiced and celebrated this good news, and I'm no different. I just wish this game would not be a bomb. And sure, there's a chance that this game might suck when it comes out, but if that's the case, I still don't care. At the very least, this is proof that Sega has not forgotten Miku. So, there you have it. Project Diva is not dead. Sega and Miku's relationship has not soured one bit, and they are growing as strong as ever. So, fellow Vocaloid fans, I propose a toast. Here's for the 10 years of Project Diva, with the good, along with the bad. I wish Sega and Miku to continue to thrive in this generation, and I hope they will continue to thrive for years to come.